Hello and welcome to my monthly webinars. I've made it a point that on the 20th of every month, I'll be conducting webinars on topics or subjects that relatively relate to youth empowerment, especially in the African continent. My name is Baboloki Semele. I am the Principal Clerk or Head of Administration of the African Youth Parliament. Just briefly, let me share with you what is the African Youth Parliament. The African Youth Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, is a parliament that is dedicated to advance the rights, that is dedicated to advance the pleas and the cries of young people of Africa. For the longest time as African youth, we've been not recognized, but we've decided as the members of the African Youth Parliament to say, enough is enough, we want to be recognized. So shortly, I'm going to share with you the African Youth Parliament. We start with the overview of the parliament. The outline, I'll be talking about the introduction, the background, the overriding objectives, overall objectives of the African Youth Parliament, the specific objectives, achievements, challenges, and recommendations. As I indicated, the African Youth Parliament is a continental and youth-led organization with representatives from 54 sovereign nations in Africa, with Somaliland coming on board as the 55th member state. As you might be aware, the African Union is composed of 55 member states. So if now we're going to go with the reenactment of the Guinea, then our African Youth Parliament will be having 56 member states, including Somaliland, because as you might be aware, Somaliland is not a member of the African Union. It may interest you to know that Asia is also, coming on board as a bilateral partner to African Youth Parliament. This parliament, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, was enacted in 2003, at a meeting convened in Nairobi, Kenya, with the intent to work towards promotion and advocating for youthful solutions to Africa's fundamental challenges. Our mission statement as the African Youth Parliament is to federate youth organizations through Youth Parliament in order to improve upon youth creativity and optimize our potential as young people for action and participation in political sustainable development endeavors. Secondly, we want to also act as an interface between youth organizations, youth associations, and movements, public authorities, the civil society, on one hand, international institutions operating in Africa and involved in youth affairs on the other hand. Also ensure the representation of youth organizations and movement from the local, national, and international consultations. The vision is to envision a future where socially and ecologically sustainable community-owned solutions will inspire, empower, and contribute in building resilient communities with and for youth in Africa. Values, we place fragile communities at the center of our development activities, as we believe that only through strong communities can our youth and children feed themselves, appropriately exploit its natural resources through talent building, education, care, and protect our children, promotion of the economic well-being for undeserved people, and live in peace. And as such, UIP is committed to the following key values in its work and organizational life. First is partnership. We work respectively in collaboration with member states, local, nationals, and international governments, communities, the private sector, and donors, bringing together the unique resources of all to achieve common objectives. AYP enjoys unique access to decision makers, given our experience and track record of development effectiveness at all levels of our parliamentary affairs. Secondly, we have teamwork. AYP, General Assembly, and member states work on the basis of mutual respect and accountability, dialogue, and collaboration. So in our work, we seek to understand the views and ideas of others, as well as to recognize the positive contributions of each person. so as to build strong relationships within and beyond Africa. Thirdly, we have integrity. African Youth Parliament consistently works in a spirit of mutual trust, honesty, transparency, understanding, respect, and accountability. Also, we have open communications. We are committed to sharing information in a respectful and collegial manner. The timely and regular exchange of quality information between headquarters, sub-regional, country, and bilateral nations, volunteers, and our partners, in order to provide the basis for informed consultative decision makings in our operations. And then we also have what we call diversity. Diversity, as African Youth Parliament, we seek to have a parliamentary workforce that reflects inclusiveness and is diverse by race, gender, religion, language, and disability friendly. We also promote heritage. We take pride in being one of the Continental youth-led parliamentary organization working exclusively on community development, nation building, and sustainable development initiatives that is principally led by young people. In addition, AYP remains committed to promoting the leadership of development. So we go into the overriding observation. In Africa, rural youth account for 70% of the region. And then despite global attention given to addressing the plight of African youth, they are still largely excluded from nation building, political participation, leadership, and empowerment opportunities. So young people in Africa have limited access to political and leadership programs that are not geared to their situation and needs with classwork focus more towards the urban areas than to learning skills useful to rural life and preparing for adulthood. I think we all bear witness to that because we have seen, rural to urban migration. So rural young women and men have even greater difficulties as they are often not given the same opportunities in development activities, because we've seen that most of the time when opportunities are shared, they are shared within and they're distributed only to young people who are in urban communities. So the implications of this observation are multifaceted and commonly expressed in the form of violence. Before I go to the overall objective, the other overriding observation that we've noticed is that the average age of a leader in Africa is 64 years, and the average age of a young person in Africa is 20 years. So if you look into this, you'll find that there's a 40-year gap between the leader and a young person. And most of the time, the leaders are not really concerned about the issues of young people because they are actually, young people are not in leadership, and therefore the policies, the initiatives that are being implemented are implemented outside of consent of young people. It is a situation where the elders take decision on behalf of youth. So we are saying as the African Youth Parliament, this has to stop. And that is why we came up with the African Youth Parliament to say, we as young people, we also want a slice of the cake. We also want a chair at the negotiation table so that we can raise the issues of young people. So the overall objective of the African Youth Parliament, we are centered around political participation, socio-economic empowerment, peace and nation building, gender or disability inclusion, climate change, agriculture, and environmental protection, which we commonly refer to as commissions. We have the Commission on Political, Bilateral, and International Relations, Commission on Gender, Diversity, and Inclusion. We have Commission on Environment, Agriculture, and Economic Development. We have Commission on Communications, Logistics, and Protocol. And then we also have Commission on Energy, Sciences. So specific objectives now. Our objectives are as follows: to facilitate consultation, expression, and action among youth in Africa towards a strong political participation, to promote effective youth participation for nation building, to give impetus to and support national and international solidarity by and for youth, to contribute to the socio-economic integration of young people and the promotion of entrepreneurial, educational, cultural, sporting, and civic values for a better Africa, contribute to youth representation in all local, national, and international political settings, to promote the development of young women for effective participation development initiatives. We also want to contribute to the fight against uncivil behavior, discrimination, social marginalization, social scourges, and poverty among African youth. We also want to mobilize human, material, and financial resources internationally for the accomplishments of the AYP missions. So the strategic plan. The African Youth Parliament, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, has worked with a 5-year strategic plan, which represents an important tool that guides parliamentary activities. So every year, AYP develops an operational plan based on this 5-year strategic plan. The strategic plan was developed with the support of national and international organizations, with the need to take stock and set the course for the next 5 years, where, we identified a set of, primary importance initiatives in consultation with the AYP's Right Honorable Speaker, all deputies, the management team, and the General Assembly, that's member states in Africa. Actually, the General Assembly of the African Youth Parliament is composed of the country coordinators. Every country of the 55 countries that we have has a country coordinators. So the next 5 years will be exciting to AYP as we progress towards national and international recognition for best practices in our endeavors. We work exclusively in the interest of our beneficiaries by providing services through, accredited organizations that meet our needs and ensure our active participation in the development of our communities. AYP also, ladies and gentlemen, is pleased to present our strategic plan from the year 2020 until 2025, which will serve as a guidance throughout the length of a period and can be modified as need be. At the end of every year, it will be reviewed and adjusted if required by incorporating recommendations from a thorough evaluation of all activities that took place during the year. This is our organizational structure of the African Youth Parliament. We have the General Assembly, which governs the Right Honorable Speaker, and then the Right Honorable Speaker supervises the Deputy Speaker. We have Deputy Speaker in all our regions. Then we have on the side the bilateral partners who deals directly with the office of the Right Honorable Speaker. I forgot to mention that the deputy speakers, they supervise the clerk, the principal clerk. And then after the principal clerk, this is where actually the principal clerk should be. After the principal clerk, we have the clerk for North Africa, the clerk for Southern Africa, the clerk for Western Africa, the clerk for like all the regions. And then we have the member states, and then we have the volunteers servicing the African Youth Parliament. So basically, this is the mandate of the African Youth Parliament. For further information about the African Youth Parliament, I am glad to link with you on WhatsApp. LinkedIn, my name is Baboloki Semele. WhatsApp, my number is +2 6776359061. I'm going to repeat that number again, +2 6776359061. That's my WhatsApp number. Also, my LinkedIn, Baboloki Semele, as I mentioned, and on Twitter, follow me at Baboloki Semele, Facebook, Dr. Baboloki Semele. We can take it further there. And finally, my email address is amb.baboloki@gmail.com. amb.baboloki@gmail.com. Thank you so much. Obrigado. Merci beaucoup. Thank you for your attention.